This texting method will ruin your love life. And I mean this sincerely. So, not a week goes by that a dozen or so followers reach out to me with a very similar story about somebody they're connecting with that's mostly a cyber connection, a text message connection. Maybe it's telephone calls, maybe sometimes it's FaceTime, but most of their communication is done via text. So I wrote a blog this morning and it's going to be published tomorrow on Facebook. And I want to share it with you. And then we're going to dive into 6 ways of looking at texting in a way that hopefully will change your love life. And I make this promise to you. If you follow what I'm sharing with you, it will definitely make a difference in your life. So let me be upfront. This blog that I wrote is with a lot of judgment, projection, my own shit is listed. So I just want to be clear about that. So the blog goes like this: stop being so effing stupid about romantic love. I swear, if I could grab people by the shoulders and shake them awake when it comes to modern dating, this would be it. Texting is the poorest form of communication ever invented for building romantic connection. It was designed to give directions, not to build intimacy. Let me repeat that. It was designed to give directions, not to build intimacy. Yet here we are, watching grown adults try to fall in love through a glowing rectangle like it's some sacred portal to emotional truth. It's not. Texting is logistical, it's informational, it's convenient, it's not connective. And here's where the stupidity creeps in. And please forgive my judgment. I know I'm being rather harsh here, but I do believe that there's some stupidity going on. Not because people are dumb, but because they're emotionally untrained. People confuse access with intimacy, frequency with closeness, and words with presence. You text all day, think you're bonding. You analyze responses like it's a personality assessment. You mistake emojis for emotional availability. You build stories, fantasies, and attachments before you've ever heard a person's voice enough times to know they can handle the silence. Texting allows people to hide, to curate, to delay, to avoid discomfort. It rewards cleverness instead of courage. It lets people feel connected without ever being known. And the nervous system loves it at first. Dopamine hits, anticipation, validation, hope. But none of that equals safety. Attachment forms faster than truth. Fantasy outruns reality. And by the time you finally meet or talk face to face, you've already emotionally invested in a version of someone who may not exist. That's the trap. Real connection requires friction, tone, eye contact, pauses, awkward moments, repair, presence. In fact, isn't 80% or 90% all communication nonverbal? It's the facial gestures, it's the pheromones, it's all that sort of thing. The ability to read energy, not just words on a screen. You learn far more about a person in 10 minutes of real conversation than you can do 10 days worth of texting. Texting doesn't reveal character. It reveals availability. And availability without intention is meaningless. And here's the grown-up truth. Most people don't want to hear. If someone can't show up in real time, they don't deserve access to your inner world. If your connection lives mostly in text, you're not dating a person, you're dating a projection. Texting should support connection, not replace it. When it becomes the relationship, it's not intimacy, it's emotional fast food. And yes, I know this might sting a little bit, but sometimes the most loving thing we can do is to stop pretending stupidity is romantic. Love doesn't grow in convenience. It grows in presence, and presence requires more than our thumbs. Apples. Anyway, I know I was a bit harsh there, okay? And for some of you, this might sting, and some of you go, yeah, I get it. but I witness it too much. I'm telling you, dozens of times a week. Some followers told me how they've spent 3 weeks connecting with somebody, 3 months connecting with somebody, sometimes 3 years. I once had a woman say to me, she said she was in a 4-year relationship. I said, how often? Oh, and she told me it was long distance. I said, how often do you see each other? She goes, we've never met. We only text one another. That's a cyber relationship. That's an artificial relationship. That's a projection or a pen pal. And by the way, look if that's what you need to get through the day, I get it. This isn't easy stuff. But for those of you who genuinely want a life partnership basis, a relationship, that's who I'm speaking to. But I'm also speaking to those that need a wake-up call, that need a smack upside the head and start waking up to the real reality of life. We no longer can be some simple children anymore here. Well, you can be an emotional child. You can do whatever you want. But just recognize, particularly for the women listening to this, men can take advantage of you this way. Do you realize you could build a whole fantasy relationship with a man who might be dating and sleeping with 6 other women while he's texting you because you live several hundred miles away, if not 1,000 miles away, and your whole relationship is built through this device? So, I said I was going to share 6 things that I do believe will make a difference in your life. And this is what is so needed for everyone that uses texting as their primary form of communication with someone. Texting was built for logistics, not intimacy. Write that down. Can someone write that in the chat box? Texting was built for logistics, not intimacy. Texting, as I said earlier, is great for directions, coordination, updates. It was never designed to carry tone, emotion, nervous system, or relational nuance. When people try to build emotional bonds through text, they're using the wrong tool for the job. Now, as I say that, that's step number 1 in what I'm about to share. Now, I need to be radically upfront. I think it's important for me to be transparent here. Many of you know I'm in a significant relationship, and every morning it's kind of become a ritual for me that I write a love note to my partner. I write a love note. I usually spend about 20 minutes crafting it. It's not something just, hey, good morning, how's your day going? With a little heart emoji. I actually share thoughts and feelings. It's kind of like my little notepad, my little, love note card to her. Now, certainly I use text messaging for that. Now, what ends up happening, though, is she writes me back, and usually sometime shortly after she wakes up, and this is true when we're on the days that we're together or the days we're apart, we usually jump on the phone and share what's in that text message. So I want to honor that while I said texting was not for intimacy, it's certainly when it's used in a proper way, when it's used as a supplement, and I'm talking a minor supplement to something greater, that it can have intimate inflections associated with it. But for the most part, I listen to and I read your text messages, and I'm like, most of it's like Seinfeld. How's your day going? Did you have a good day? Tell me about your day. And you're focused on the things that are happening in the day. And you might throw in some emotional aspects to it. But that creates a false sense of intimacy, not genuine intimacy, because it's not built with that face-to-face time through social activities, hobbies, mutual interests, spending time with family and friends, traveling together, teamwork building skills, both in your personal and your professional life, and certainly physical and emotional intimacy is how you build a genuine love story with a life partner. So, texting was built for logistics, not intimacy. And yes, you can have some intimacy, but use it as an adjunct and not your primary source of communication. Number 2, people confuse frequency with intimacy. I know some people that text constantly throughout the day. The illusion of closeness, constant contact feels like connection, but it often feels like access. True intimacy comes from presence, not the message volume. I'm going to share something that is a bit embarrassing, but there was a point in time when I actually was texting 6 women at the same time. This is about 20 years ago. That's the beauty of text message. You can text multiple people at the same time. And certainly, I wasn't being very genuine. See, that's the problem with, and by the way, a lot of frequency to each person. In fact, sometimes it was cut and paste to the same person. I'm owning my truth, but I recognize that by touching someone throughout the day, it created a false illusion of connection. And I was a jackass 20 years ago. I was even a bit manipulative. I was out selfishly for my own needs. And I knew from a manipulation standpoint that frequency created false sense of intimacy. Now, I'm not saying this proudly. I'm sharing this with you as a warning sign. Warning, Will Robinson. Warning, 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 warning. Don't confuse frequency with intimacy. Number 3, texting creates false attachment before trust. Someone write that down. Texting creates false attachment before trust. The nervous system responds to dopamine hits, validation, and anticipation. Attachments form quickly, while the truth and character can be revealed slowly. Do you realize trust can take 100, 2 hours, 100, 200, 300 hours of face-to-face time just to build the first few layers of trust. And I want you to think of trust like an onion. There are layers to it. But texting creates a false attachment before trust is built. I can't stress enough how important trust is when it comes to romantic relationships. And yet, sadly, listen, we'll kiss before there's trust. We'll have sex before there's trust. We'll commit to someone before there's trust. And what is trust? Trust isn't just about fidelity. Trust is, does this person have my best interest at heart? Do they operate from my best interest, or are they only caring about their own best interest? I want you to sit with that for a moment. Genuine trust is, what's good for you is good for me. Not at the expense of my sovereignty, not at being a doormat, but it's when 2 people feel that about each other. Ladies, oftentimes you give so much through the nurturing nature that you have, and you give yourself to somebody, but are they really doing the same for you? And I want you to think of real, genuine trust as, I'm going through a hard time. Will they come visit me at the hospital? I need a ride to the colonoscopy appointment. I've got chemotherapy. Will you be there to wipe the vomit from my lips? Can you know that from somebody through a bunch of text messaging? I doubt it. And yet I witnessed women, like I said earlier, 4-year relationship with someone whom she never met. It was only a text relationship. And by the way, the sad part, she gave this gentleman thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars. That's the other challenge that you have with the texting relationship being used. Number 4, texting rewards avoidance over courage. Texting rewards avoidance over courage. Texting allows people to hide, curate, delay, and disappear. It lets emotional, unavailable people feel connected without ever showing up in real time where vulnerability is required. I just want you to think about that. Simple heart emoji. Oh my God, he's thinking of me. Writing, thinking of you, with a smiley emoji. And yet, all along the way, they're avoiding intimacy. Can you have a real, deep, meaningful conversation with your thumbs? Oh my God, I butcher things even when I message my beloved in the morning because I'm not accurately, it's hard to read back what you wrote through text messaging. And yet it rewards avoidance because simple one-line text messages oftentimes fuels a person until the next time, and the person isn't saying anything. That's the thing. Just went to the grocery store. Oh my God, he's thinking about me. Just went to go visit my son. Oh, he's thinking about me. My son is having problems. Oh, he's thinking about me. And by the way, this is true for women. Women do this to men as well. This texting message will ruin your love life, whether you're a man or a woman. Texting rewards avoidance over courage. Number 5, real connection is built through real-time experiences. Voice, eye contact, pauses, awkward moments, repair, emotional attunement happen in live interactions. It is through a variety of different circumstances. And I've been saying this for a dozen years now, through social activities, hobbies, mutual interest, spending time with family and friends, certainly traveling together, teamwork, building skills, both in your personal and your professional life, intimacy. As I said before, it is through the real-time experiences that you can build trust with someone. Certainly, text messaging gives you a little bit of insight, and certainly you can send a love note. I'm a little bit overboard that I do it every day, but I'm a little bit poetic at it. It's my way of doing, like I said, love cards. And certainly if you've built that kind of relationship, there's nothing wrong with that. But many of you find yourself in dynamics with dysfunctional human beings, and you have to look at, why are you so susceptible to this? This is why when I wrote my book, What the Heck is Self-Love Anyway? A Journey of Personal Development, Self-Help, and Spiritual Work, it was an invitation to look inward and say, how is it that I'm susceptible to false attraction? How am I susceptible to artificial intimacy? Because we all have a little 6-year-old inside of us that wants to be loved. And yet the grown-up in us is not driving the bus. It's like you gave your keys to a 6-year-old and said, do the driving from Los Angeles to New York. And I'm sorry I'm laughing, but in some ways it's painful to witness the emotional immaturity in our dating environment today. Number 6, texting should support a relationship, not replace one. Okay, there I said it. Healthy texting enhances connection, kind of like what I do with my beloved in the morning. But that's because we have a strong connection that already exists. When texting becomes the relationship, you're not dating a person, you're dating a projection. And I'm sorry if I'm coming across harsh here, but I witness it too much and it breaks my heart. Texting should support a relationship, not replace one. And sadly, today I see that so many people find them in a texting pen pal cyber relationship and not a genuine heart-centered relationship. And let me just end on this note. Presence builds trust. Confidence or convenience builds confusion. Love doesn't grow in your phone. It grows when 2 people show up. Let me repeat that. Presence builds trust. Convenience builds confusion. Love doesn't grow in your phone. It grows when 2 people show up. And if you follow this texting method of only primarily communicating via text, you are most likely setting yourself up for relationship pain later down the road. Is this sinking in? Is this resonating with you? Please let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Post a comment below. I do my best to read them all in the first 24 hours. As always, if you find value in my videos, please hit that like button. Please hit the share button. Please hit the notification button so you can be notified of new videos. And if you want to connect with me directly, hey, there's links below. Schedule a discovery call with me to see if working with the coach is right for you. There's links to join my group called Midlife Love Mastery. You can get the books I recommend, all listed below. And you can, did I say follow me on social media? And don't forget my dating vows. It's in the show notes below.